Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam Gita series. Freedom from pains and miseries to happy, healthy and peaceful life. Based upon 108 mantras to awaken your soul and Srimad Bhagavad Gita. My questions and God's answers. And today's series number 89. Know the true nature of Supreme Being, God. And blessing from Hariharji Maharaj, bringing us all together, guiding us. Blessing from Lord Krishna. I am Satya Kalra, the founder of Path to Anandam, and your host for this series. And whatever you see, all these books which have been on bestsellers on Amazon and all these sessions, all are guided, and it was Guruji's Adesh that that's what I should do. Spread the message of Bhagavad Gita wherever I can. And with God's blessings, guidance, we have a YouTube channel where you can all subscribe, because many sessions, in case you miss it, they're all posted on YouTube channel. And now we have almost 500 YouTube channel videos over there. So today's series, this is the last session of chapter 15, and the verses will be covered 16 to 20. And actually it answers, who should I worship? Enlightened souls, gurus, or God, the Supreme Being? We had covered a similar session before where who should I worship? Devi Devtas or God? In many previous sessions. And today the question is, should I worship enlightened beings like seers and gurus, or just worship Supreme Being? And Lord Krishna answers that. So know the difference between Kshetra and changeable and Akshatra, eternal being. Who is the Supreme Man? God, Purushottam, which we have discussed previously. What are his qualities, actions, and where does he live? That was our previous session. And today we are going to embark on transcendental nature of God. And what is the relationship of our relationship with God? Benefits of knowing God and self-knowledge. Once we know what are the benefits, and practices and homework, and then the sankalpa, I know the true nature of Supreme Being. Meditation and question and answers. So let's all pray to Bhagwanji, just like Arjuna, who got confused, dejected, was in worry, fear, vishad, and asked for guidance. Just like us, we are asking for guidance to give us the path so we can meet, we can accomplish the purpose of our life, who we are. We are Chit Ananda. So just like Arjuna, when he was confused, he said, Na Jyotasyati Govindam. And after blessing, Lord Krishna took him to that blissful journey where he got transformed. And he said, I do as you advise. Karishye vachanam tam. So let's all together ask the guidance from Supreme Power by surrendering with humble request. Karpani dosho pahat svabhava prashyami tvam dharma samurcheta yachase isyani nishchitam bruitan me Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanyam. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapanyam. My heart is overpowered by the weakness of pity. I have lost all my composure and my mind is confused about my duty. Dharma, I am requesting you to tell me what is definitely good for me. Not what am I asking, what is definitely good for me. I am your disciple. I surrender to you. Please advise. So Bhagwan Ji, Lord Krishna, who was Arjuna's divine company, took him step by step on this blissful journey. So Gita is a step-by-step spiritual instruction manual, guide to live righteously. It does not say Gita is God. It says spiritual instruction manual guide. It guides us to know Mother Nature, the supreme goal of life, and how to attain it. In other words, how to attain eternal happiness, peace, oneness, and reach to Param Dham, ultimate achieving the goal of life. So know the reality of Supreme Man Purushottam, self-realization, Chit Ananda, by living in this material world and beyond. This is put together with several Swami Hariharji Maharaj's quotations. So we are on this blissful journey together, going from lower self, means vishad, confusion, fearful, ignorance, to supreme self, higher self, where we are beyond worries. Here, beyond worries, insomnia, all these diseases, by knowing supreme power. And once we know that, we go from Vishad to Prasad and achieve the ultimate purpose of life, union with supreme power. So 700 verses of Bhagavad Gita, 18 chapters, 3 yogas, 3 main yogas, although every chapter is a yoga, it takes us closer to supreme power, ultimately to union with supreme power, but mainly divided into 3 yogas, 1 to 6 chapter, Karma Yoga, how to do our work righteously, with love and compassion, which is Bhakti Yoga, and know Vasudev Sarvamiti, God is everything. So chapter 1 to 12, Bhakti Yoga, and now we are on last part of Jnana Yoga, chapter 13 to 18, and this we have covered chapter 13, Creator and Creation. We are a part of Prakriti, and Supreme Power is the Creator. And what gives us the ignorance? Why do sometimes our behavior is good, bad, in between? And that was explained in chapter 14, Triguna, Triya Vibhag Yoga. And now we are in chapter 15, to know the supreme power, Purushottam. So step by step, we are getting into the essence of who we are and how we can know the supreme power by removing each layer of our ignorance, just like onion, reaching to the essence here. So chapter 15, I call it, we are in grade 5th. We are in basically first, to me, 18 is so similar to like doing a PhD. Like first 14 years, we are in undergraduate program. Then we go to graduate program. Then we go to PhD. So we are now on the path of PhD. And though it might be called as a worldly, but to me, this is the higher, reaching to the higher level after learning how to perform our activities with love and compassion. And now we are the Gyan Yoga. And why do I call the PhD program? Because Bhagwan Ji could have given the Gyan, which he tried to give the Gyan to Arjuna in the beginning, but he did not understand. So then he took him to the path, which as a Kshatriya, he could understand as a Karma Yoga, how he should perform his duty. And then also open his heart up with love and compassion. And now he was ready for the wisdom to receive. So that's why, like we go, like as a doctor, you go to medical college, then you do internship, and this is more like an internship. So chapter 15, Purushottam Yoga, the path of realizing God as the supreme self, supreme power. Knowing God as supreme power, Purushottam, who is omnipresent, omnipotent, omniscient. In other words, once we know that, we can go from lower self, from this vishad, lower self, ignorance state, to supreme higher state, where we experience Chit Ananda. And we have already covered this. Who is the supreme man? God. What are his qualities? We learned in previous sessions. What does he do? Where does he live? And this today, transcendental nature, eternal nature of God. And what is our relationship with supreme power? So this is again the reminder of supreme goal of life, where he mentioned that Yat gatva na nirvantante tad dham parmamam. We should reach to the place where we are not like a ping pong. Kabhi khushi, kabhi gum. Always be happy, eternal happiness. That part where here, I put it here, this is my favorite one. But today's word, people relate it also in our Shastras. It is said Vaikuntha Dham, the ultimate place. So step by step reaching there, or step by step reaching to our eternal happiness, love, peace, Anandam, Chit Ananda. So Bhagwan Ji assures us that this is a place, once you get there, you will always stay there. So that is a goal we should have. And today, these 3 shlokas, why I took these 3 shlokas? Because it is known as Tri Shloki Gita. These 3 shlokas are so important. It gives us the transcendental nature of God and his relationship with us. Individual being means us, Jiva Atma. And it says, Dvavimo Pusho Lokesh, Shara Shakshara Evcha Shara Sharvani Bhutani Kutastha Akshara Uchyate. In this world, there are two types of entities, perishable, which we are, Shara, they call Shara, and imperishable, unchangeable, Akshara. The bodies of all beings are perishables, like our body. It changes, not just from youth, which is a dehino asmin yatha dehe komaram yovam zara. This is the previous verse where Bhagwan Ji explains that our body keeps changing from one state to another, like from young age to adult, we become adult, and then we become old, and then we die. But here he means body is perishable, but it's changeable. Changeable means what? Going from birth to death to birth to death. So this Jivatma continuous suffers that. Where this is where it calls, this is where we are on Bhuloka, we are on Prithvi Loka, Earth Loka. This is where the more Raisic people like us will live there and go continuously birth and death. Then he explains, Uttam Purushastvam Paramatme iti udhata yo loktrama vishya vibhartavya Ishvara. But beside these two, there is in other words, just a temporary and permanent, eternal. There is something beyond it. And what is that beyond? He says, in this loka, we are also, if you look the Devi Devtas lokas and the lower lokas, which we discussed previously, but beyond that, there is the Brahman. This is the supreme power, Purushottama, which is imperishable. And he says, I enter into these three worlds and maintain them. So which we will discuss in the next slide. But here I thought I should just put as a summary here. Here he says, Yasmat aksharam atito aham akshiradapi jyotama. Ato asmi loke vedecha prathita pushottama. Because I am above and beyond the perishable and even the imperishable. He says, I'm beyond this permanent or temporary. Therefore, I am known in this world also in the scripture as the supreme being, Pushottama, supreme soul. So what does it really mean here? Because this is a little bit too hard to me, it was difficult to understand. So I had to go one step further to make it very simplified, this one. Here it says, Vimo Pusho Loke. Sharascha Akshara Evcha Shara Sarvani Bhutani Kutaste Akshara. In this world, there are two types of entities, perishable and unperishable, which we have learned before. That body is temporary and Atma is permanent. So what is Lord Krishna is trying to tell us more about it here? And this is where the most secret, where he calls it, of Bhagavad Gita. And why this Trishaloki Gita? Because there are two types of Purusha. Here he says, Dvamo, Purusho Loke. Even these Purushas, the Shar, which is a temporary, there are two types. What are these two types? Like we, body and soul. So these Purushas, number one and number two, they both have the bodies. So what is the difference between these two? Dvamo Purusho. What is the difference between these two different entities, different Jivatmas? And here he says, these are the individual beings like us, and these are individual beings also. These are temporary, so are they. These are changeable, so are they. These are perishables. They come in birth and death, and so are they. Then what is it trying to tell us? And here comes the difference. In the individual beings like us, Jeev Atma, one category which I mentioned, we showed lower, ignorant people, they are very selfish, have a very limited knowledge. They are very easily agitable because they are living with the 5+2 enemies, Kam, Krodh, Lo, Moh, Ankar, and going in this yo-yo game. Because sometimes they behave bad, sometimes they behave in very bad. This is what he's talking about. Lot of greed, lot of arrogancy, lot of jealousy, lot of hatred. And they are the embodiment of pains and sufferings. On other hand, he said there are these type of people, which he talked about. This is, if we remember in chapter 14, this is he's talking about more like a tamasic and rajasic people. And here he's talking about these people, the other type of Jeev Atma, which are higher self, which are pure consciousness. They live in goodness, they live in the consciousness, and their mind is more stable. They're not a yo-yo game, which is called Sthit Prajna, which is a one step just below reaching to the purpose of our life. They are not selfless. They are very giving. They have wisdom. But still they are limited. Just like this, they are limited and they are limited because they are in the body. And when somebody comes in the body, again, they are limited to the nature of body, because body is made with those 24 tattvas. And this Kam, Krodh, Lo, Moh, all are part of them. But they have found they got the victory over them. They superseded them. But still they are in the body. But they are liberated souls. This is where the whole series is: liberation, freedom from pains and miseries. And these people are at that level. Who are these? These are the saints, gurus, scriptures, Gita, Vedas. All these are come under this category. So saints are at a very high level, gurus are a very high level. Now, let's go to the third one, Purushottama. What is the difference between these sattvic people and the Purushottama? They are supreme being. They are not just, so this is what he's talking about. Unmanifested. Body is manifested. These are unmanifested. This is the eternal, permanent, imperishable. This is totally speaking about the Atma. But not that Atma which is limited, which is in our body. Talking of the supreme Atma, Purushottama, where we have learned Nenam Chidanti Shastrani, Nenam Dahati Pavaka, Na Chainam Kaldyantam Purna, Shochati Marita. Atma, no, it cannot be burned, it cannot be wet, it is eternal. So we have that in our body, but we are not eternal because we have the body, we are the limited ones. Because we are made with other 5 tattvas, Kam, Krodh, Lo, Moh, Ankar, and also all the 5 elements of earth, water, fire, air, space. So all those are putting us into limitations. We are the manifestation. We are the manifestation of our Triguni Maya. Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic. We are the byproduct of that, where this is the Gunatit, beyond that. These are real. Nasato vidite bhava. This is a Satya. This is a Satya. What we are talking about, we are a part of a Satya illusion. We come and go, but this is permanent. Selfless. See, even though These are all the saints and everything. They have a purpose behind it. They are selfless as well. Here they are selfish. Raisic people are selfish. They have some agenda behind it. And here they have agenda too. The supreme souls, these souls, higher souls have agenda too. The purpose of life, they want to achieve the purpose of life. But here, they're totally, God is totally selfless. He says, I enter. Here it says, I am beside these two eternal. Yet there is another supreme personality called the higher self. And imperishable enters the three worlds, that he's the one who is maintaining, who had created this, all the lokas, patal lok. We are talking about mainly, there are about 14 lokas, but we are talking about three main lokas, the patal lok, ignorant loka, which is, and then the bhuloka where we live, and then the higher loka, where all the Devi Devtas live. And he says, I am the one who enters into these three lokas and sustain them. In other words, maintain them, nourish them. There is no other agenda. So there is no selfishness, all selfless. He's a creator, sustainer, dissolution, which we call the definition of God, also in previously. He's omnipresent, everywhere, kan mein, chan mein, omniscient, omnipotent, Chit Ananda. So that's the distinction. Here, the ignorant one, he are the more like, I would say, sattvic ones. And here, Gunatit, beyond all that, where he says, I am Gunatit, I am beyond all this. This is where the Purushottama is, non-duality, just the energy. Everything else is manifestation, but supreme power is that supreme consciousness. So, know the transcendental nature of supreme power. Again, here he says, Jasmat akshara matito aham akshadapi chotamah. Ato asmin loke vede cha prathit purushottam. This is where he further explains, because I am above and beyond the perishable, even the imperishable, all these three lokas. I am known in this world and also in the scriptures as the supreme being. That's where I am known as Brahman. Because I am maintained these three lokas. I'm not among Devi Devtas. But I mean, I'm superior. I'm the highest supreme being. And that's where I put it. It is called Purushottama, Parabrahma, Paramatma, absolute truth, Chit Ananda, supreme power, supreme Purushottama, whatever. There are different names of it. But here he says, I am known in these Vedas. So I put all these Vedas. So he's known as Purushottama, supreme power, supreme reality. That's what who he is. So what does it mean? Here, I just put it in my explanation here. Purushottama, supreme power, is more than liberated souls, saints, gurus, gods. He's more than them. He says he's even more than Vedas, scriptures, Gita, Ramayana, whatever all this. And I love this word, Guru Granth Sahib Ji. You know, in Sikhism, there were gurus before. And Guru Nanak Ji, who's known, he's my favorite one. But here, at the end, they said, Guru Granth Ji Maniye. Because when other gurus come, then there might be some limitations. There might be some people, the ego, because we are all made with bodies. So that's why you see sometimes the gurus and saints, they kind of get sidetracked, and their purpose of teaching, taking us on this path, get diverted. That's why it says Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maniye. At the end, the Guru Granth Sahib is their Guru now. And these are all spiritual guides. So what are these books and all these scriptures? These are the guides which uplifts us and guides us how to do sadhana, how to go from lower self to higher self, and how to qualify ourselves to oneness. Here is the main thing. We all go and become one. We merge with supreme power. We experience Chit Ananda. But Bhagwan Ji says, I am the supreme. You are still a one who comes to me, become one, but you are not the God. I am the God. So God is only one, supreme power. So Param Dham is his place where we reach. And good example is Bindu to Sindhu. We are like a small drop. When we merge with ocean, drop becomes ocean, but it merges with ocean, but does not become the ocean. Drop cannot replace ocean. Similarly, rivers, they go and merge with ocean, but still they are rivers. So all these are gurus. Hariharji Maharaj, these are all gurus. But Guruji used to say, I am your guru. I'm not God. So don't worship me as a God. Don't replace me. God is God. Always focus on God, that non-duality. So many names of God. Supreme Head, Supreme Being, Purushottama, Satchitananda. But God is above all. That's the message here. That who we should worship. We must worship the supreme power and get the guidance from all these scriptures and gurus and learn from them. There was a one saint who left his body several years ago, I think about 15 years ago, Ram Sukdas ji in Rishikesh. He is actually considered the highest among all the gurus for Bhagavad Gita. And in he is Marwadi's guru. And he would not allow anybody to take the picture. And his only thing asked, if by mistake, if you have anything, do not remember me, remember God. So he did not leave any traces behind. And his body was merged in the Ganga. And he said, let the fishes and so he took the what is called water samadhi. But that was a very big lesson to learn. He says, no, I don't want people to focus on me. You should focus on Bhagavad Gita and on the Supreme Lord, not on me. So what are the benefits of knowing Supreme Power? Ultimately, reach the purpose of life, self-realization. Here it says, Yo mamem samuro janati purushottamasa sarva vidhi bhajati mam sarv bhaven bharat. O Arjuna, the wise one who truly understand me as the supreme being, Satchit Ananda, know all and worship me wholeheartedly. Here, that's where I put it, Guruji. Though we go from a gradually we go from a lower conscious level to the higher and higher and higher, and then we merge with God. But Guruji said, you do not become God. You still are merging with God. You reach to Param Dham, but you are not the Param Dham. That's a distinction. That is the most secret. So here it says, Iti guhetam shastram midam mukta maya nad ekad buddhya buddhi kratascha bharata. So what do we get? He said, thus this most secret science of transcendental knowledge, who God is, has been revealed by me. O pious Arjun, O sinless Arjun, by understanding this, one become enlightened and attain the purpose of life. Self-realization means gets the moksha, oneness, and reaches to Paramdham. So this is the most secret, that there is a distinction between who we are. We are still the Jiva Atma. All the saints, gurus, they are still the Jivatma, though they are in a very higher conscious level. And they guide us, scriptures guide us to how to reach to the Paramdham, how to merge there, and how to experience that oneness, that Chit Ananda. But the supreme power is only one. God is only one. So we should not be sidetracked sometime, this guru, this guru, this guru, and sometimes people say guru, this guru is Bhagwan Ji. This. Yes, they are higher conscious level, very high conscious level. But God is only one. That's the most secret of Bhagavad Gita. So how this particular Trishloki Gita. So how we should practice it? Know the transcendental knowledge, the ultimate nature of God, which we learn, the supreme reality, and continue to practice, start our day, set the goal, trend of our day with mantras, with scriptures, and make sure we take care of our body to prepare ourselves so we can do our sadhana properly, and then practice, 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 one thing at a time, whatever the need of our day or the month. And then, so this is where it says Vedas, Gitas bring the awareness, who we are, how we behave, and what are the things we are attached to. So we should go beyond the attachment, because that's a mention in this chapter. And then we should surrender and then experience God in our heart. And peace, Anandam, and experience the presence of Brahma. Self-realization, that's the goal of our life. So going beyond birth and death. So we should continue practices of our sadhana and ask the question, do I have why I put this one, very first one, do I have my supreme goal of life, self-realization, oneness, reaching to Paramdham? So we should observe, we should do all the sadhanas. Am I aware of my qualities and behavior, gunas? We should definitely focus on that one and continue to take in charge of our mind-related issues and bring it back to the sattvic level, and not to be stay in yo-yo game of rajasic and live in ignorance. So tamasic, we go beyond tamasic and rajasic and practice sattvic behavior. So we become the liberated soul and then merge and go to oneness. So, as I said before, make a list of what are my attachments. Do I surrender? Do I see God everywhere? That's my favorite word you have heard many times. And spiritual practices, mindfulness, meditations, karma yoga, seva, whatever we can do, bhakti. Do I witness? Be witness, observe yourself, don't get caught with the mind. Be above your mind and just observe your mind, what kind of games it plays. Do I experience his presence? Who do I worship? Individual being or supreme being? That's the question I have added today. So which is good, we can do the sakar roop and nirakar roop, but we should always be aware of it, that are we worshipping the supreme source, or are we worshipping the supreme God? Want to make sure we are not caught in the middle somewhere. And then we should continuously question on this inquiry of these questions, and know that God is omnipresent. He's everywhere. His power is everywhere. And we should have our antenna up and continue to become Sakshi and see this creator who has all these qualities. So arise, awake, and stop, not till the goal is reached, as Vivekananda said. So our sankalpa, we have done many sankalpas before, like of this chapter, I am detached, I am at Paramdham, I understand God's divine power, and then I experience divine presence. We have done many sankalpas before, but our today's sankalpa is who I worship and also what is the purpose of my life. So our sankalpa is I attain the supreme goal of my life. And be patient because we are chosen ones, that we get a chance to come here on Sunday morning. Many don't get that chance. So it is not a quick fix. Continue to practice, 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 and have our sankalpa. Because sankalpa bhavan, what kind of sankalpa we should have? Not the karmas. It should be karmas tattva. Means we should not have just the sankalpa of the worldly things, but we should be master of mansa indriya gramam. We should be master of all these senses and mind, and then little by little, with teachings of Bhagavad Gita, we will reap the fruit here and experience happy, healthy, and peaceful life. Self-realization who I am. I am Chit Ananda. Aham Brahmasmi. So thank you very much attending the session, knowing the true nature of Supreme Being. And by doing that, we become the liberated soul and experience happy life, healthy life, peaceful life even now, and of course, beyond as well, reaching to Paramdham.